What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I hope you're having an awesome day. This is a first, actually. I'm actually recording this live to our Facebook group, also to Instagram. So we're doing a little Instagram. So if I'm looking up here, I'm looking at my camera. And if I'm looking down, if you're looking at me on the camera here, I'm looking into my webcam. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think this will be a pretty consistent way of me doing things and leveraging what I'm doing moving forward. As you guys know, hopefully you guys know, if you've been listening to the podcast and watching my videos, I'm a huge fan of leverage. That means if I shoot a video here on the Facebook group, for instance, I also want to shoot it on Instagram, and I want to put it up on YouTube, and I want it to be leveraged in our podcast. And that way I can kill four birds with one stone instead of having to do a 10-minute talk 4 times over and spend 40 to 60 minutes of my time doing so. So anyways, in today's episode, I want to talk with you about the first thing that's going to break, most likely, in your business, and the 3 ways to fix it. If you're just joining me on Instagram, what's going on, Nelson? Good to see you here. If you guys are just popping in, just give it a thumbs up. Let me know you're alive. So if you're running a coaching business, here's what's going to happen inevitably at some point. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I just had an office hours conversation with one of our HBA clients yesterday. His name is Ryan. Crazy, amazing week. They just did $21,000 this week. They had 12 conversations, 7 clients enrolled, and just amazing results, right? Like crazy. 95 more enrollment calls on the books over the next couple of weeks for them. 95 more. He posted in the Facebook group like how pumped he was about his critical numbers. And I was like, wow, you're pretty pumped because, and I'm excited for you because you understand this. He had spent, I'm not going to say how much he had spent, but it was quite a lot. In Facebook ads, they generated over 105 enrollment conversations, but he was negative ROI within the 2 weeks that he was reporting for. And I said, you know what? Great job, because you're thinking of this in the long term. Because most people would freak out, right? If they're like, oh my God, I'm negative ROI after 2 weeks. But he's got 105 conversations on the books. 12 of them were had last week. They did $21,000 in revenue. So he's already covered his ad spend and then some. And now they have 95 other conversations that are going to happen over the next couple of weeks. And all of that is potential about $150,000 profit. Pretty amazing stuff, right? So anyways, the challenge, what's going on, Carl? What's going on? If you guys just popped in on Instagram, welcome. We're talking about the number one thing that's going to break in your business and the 3 ways to fix it if you're running a coaching business. So anyways, the dilemma that he ran into was, he's like, okay, we have 95 calls on the calendar. What do we do about that? Right? It's a good problem to have, right? And this has happened with a number of our clients already very quickly. When you have your Facebook ads and your perfect client pipeline running, things just take off. So I told him, I'm like, listen, the first thing that's going to break in your business, and this is what exactly happened to him, is that your sales capacity goes down. Like you only can take on so many enrollment calls before you break. So when I first started doing enrollment calls, I was doing anywhere from 4 to 7 hours a day of enrollment calls, like day after day, Monday through Friday, and it was awesome, but exhausting. And every single one of you who are running a business, coaching clients and enrolling them over the phone will hit that capacity. So that's the first thing that's going to break in your business. It's not going to be delivery. It's not like the last thing you need to worry about initially is delivery, because your program is good enough to help people. Down the road, your program is the most important thing for you to focus on, but initially it's sales and marketing. And marketing has more leverage than sales does naturally, because a lot of it can be automated, but you can't automate sales if you're selling high ticket. So I told him, I said, listen, like what you have to do here is you have to start thinking about how you can scale out a sales team, because it was his father, who is the main kind of doctor of the business, who is doing the enrollment calls. And I said, the only way you guys can hit the next level, and by that I mean like high 6 figures into 7, is you have to get sales off your plate. And that's what you're going to have to think about doing as well. So how do we do that? 3 things you need to do, okay? So first and foremost is you need to document your sales process. You have to document your sales process. And that's important because if you're going to bring somebody on to do sales for you, you have to give them a path to follow. Like, hey, I don't want to keep baking this chocolate cake, as an example, but here's a recipe that's really good. Okay, so person come into the kitchen and make this recipe. That's what you have to do with your sales calls. The good thing with him is I told him, like, listen, you already have our coach to close enrollment framework and script, so just use that for anyone you want to train up in your business. That's one of the benefits of, that our clients get, is they have a proven script for all their phone conversations that is just awesome. So they don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? And that's going to save them a huge amount of time, because I had to build this out for over years, a lot of trial and error, a lot of learning, and so forth. So the first thing is you have to document your sales process. You have to, this is going to be the same thing for anyone you bring into your business. You have to document your sales process. Second thing you need to do is you need to create documents that is going to outline the 4 R's. 4 R's are the role, responsibilities, results, and requirements. And essentially what this is it's a job description. It's a job description of what the role is, what the responsibilities are going to be from that person, what the results or the expected outcomes are going to be in that person's role, if they do it well, and what are the requirements for that individual. So for instance, if you're bringing on a sales rep, one of the requirements might be a previous experience doing phone sales or door-to-door sales, or really, really good communicator and ability to persuade people. Thick skin and can handle a no and rejection many, many times over without being phased, right? So things like that. And so that's the second piece, is you have to be very, very clear about what this role entails, because when people come to work with you, the last thing people want is ambiguity, right? So you have to be super clear about what is the outcome that they're going for, so they know, and then what are going to be the measurements of success along the way? What are the metrics? What are the milestones that are going to help them identify, like, yes, I'm on the right track? And then how are they going to be held accountable? Okay, really important. And then the third piece, so we talked about documenting your sales process. Second thing was creating your 4 R's document. And the third piece is going to be coach the hell out of them. All right. This is super important. You can't, and this is going to go for any role for any person you bring into your business, is don't expect someone to come into your company and then like crush it. Even if they're great at what they do, you have to coach them. You have to listen to their sales calls. You have to, and sorry, like I kind of jumped a few pieces in the hiring process. There's a few other pieces before you bring someone in full time on this stuff, but let's just assume that stuff is taken care of. And I'm just talking about once they're working with you, you can't just like let them go. You have to monitor, you have to review them, you have to coach them, you have to give them feedback. And this is something I dropped the ball on in my business. Like I totally did. So just in case you guys don't know, I don't do any of my enrollment calls. Okay. So if you speak with one of our team members, you're speaking with one of our amazing results coaches, and they're incredible. They're better at it than I am. And we had a really, really good end of last year when we look comparatively speaking to some other months. And the one thing we did consistently was we had a daily sales meeting. Every single day we had a daily sales huddle. We worked on role plays, we worked on objections, we worked on all sorts of stuff. And we just kept the motivation and morale and consistency high. And then I was like, all right, good. You guys are good. Go. And they did, and they're still really good. But the thing is, like, you have to, like, if you're building a team, you're building a really big business, not just like some laptop lifestyle type of thing, because that's not what I'm here to help you do. I'm not here to help you make a couple extra bucks. I'm here to help you make a really, really impactful business. Is you get to a point where you have to spend more time coaching your team than coaching your clients. And that's a transition that you're going to have to make at some point. Okay. And if you don't want to build a team, then just be honest about that. Okay. Because you're only going to get to a certain heights before you hit capacity and you can't go any higher. So this third way to fix the capacity issue on the sales side is you have to train and coach your sales reps, right? You have to listen to their calls. You have to give them feedback, constructive, etc., and show them how to get better. Because with that type of feedback, what's up, Shari? Good to see you. With that type of feedback, that's how they grow. That's how they get better. And as a coach of your team, when you start coaching and teaching the things like that, you actually get better yourself. Like you start to identify opportunities where, maybe the ball was dropped or they could be better on the phone or whatever. And all of that makes you a better a person in that selling capacity as well. So those are the 3 ways to fix that. So we talked about being documenting the sales process itself. We talked about creating the 4 R's document, getting clarity on that. And the third piece, once they're obviously onboarded, which is a whole other case, but once they're on your team fully functioning, then you want to just make sure you're coaching them, keeping them accountable, giving them feedback, helping them win, helping them more and more and more. And this, I mean, listen, I dropped the ball on this year. Like I really, really did. And I take full responsibility for that. And 2020, like my sole objective is to continually develop our team to be the best it can possibly be. And that's important. So that's, if you want to get leverage over time, you can't be the driver of your business. And that's a big realization I've had, is like, I can't be the driver of my business. If I'm doing everything and everything relies on me making the decisions and pushing things forward, you will kill yourself. It's not going to happen. And I've got a great team, right? So I want to empower them to make more strategic decisions, to be in a more authoritative capacity, to move the business forward where needed. And these are just some of the ways that you can do this from the sales side. Now, obviously, if you're in a position where you're not even worried about building out your sales team, like we've got 3 people on our team who do enrollment calls for us. And if you're not even there yet, like you're just like, hey, I just want to get more people on the phone so I can enroll them, then that's cool. I mean, that's where we all start, right? That's where everyone starts, is you have to do everything yourself. You have to get proficient at it to the point where you can start to map it out, model it out, and delegate it. Right now, if you're watching this or listening to this and you want to get more people on the phone who are your perfect clients, and I'm talking about health or fitness clients, like you are a health expert, and you're not doing too well at that, for instance, like it's not really consistent, you want a more predictable way of doing so, and you want to be able to grow your revenue and scale your business with a lot more consistency and predictability, then that's our magic. That's what we do every single day with hundreds of our clients. If that's something you want to do, and if you want to make 2020 your best year, because listen, if what you're doing right now is probably not working, things are not going to change. I'm telling you that, okay? They're not going to change dramatically in the near future. And we've got a really, really great process that has helped a lot of people. And if you're interested in having a conversation to see if it might be a good fit for you as well, then head on over to workwithyuri.com. So that's workwithyuri.com, and answer a few questions about your business so we have a bit more context about where you're at. And then we'll jump on the phone, or you'll be able to book in a time on the next page to book in a call to speak with one of our coaches. And again, they're not here to sell you. Like, I mean, if anything, we're here to interview you to see your situation and see if there might be a good fit, right? So there's no high pressure nonsense. And if there's a good fit, and if you're interested in potentially working with us, then we can talk about what that looks like. But first and foremost, we're here to help you and serve you. And that's where it all starts, is having that conversation so we can really figure out what's going on in your business and then how we can craft a game plan for your specific situation. So if you want that help, and if you want our guidance to help you get more clients, then go to workwithyuri.com and fill out that application today. Anyways, if you're watching this on Instagram Live, hey, thanks so much for jumping in. What's up, guys? If you're here at the end, if you're watching live, just throw in a fire emoji. Let's play with some emojis here. And if you're watching the replay, just give it a muscle, one of those like bicep flexes in the comments below. And if you just missed this whole thing, then watch the replay. We just talked about the first minute's going to most likely break in your business, in your coaching business, and the 3 ways to fix it. If you just missed it, watch the replay, and I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.